Are you looking for a build that is the king of endgame, capable of handling any situation the game can throw at you with ease? Do you want to drown the battlefield in purple haze as you perform your symphony of destruction, laughing at your enemy's pathetic attempts to harm you? What is going on, Guardians? Devour here, and in this video I will be showcasing an exceptionally well-rounded Sentinel build that offers everything you'd ever want from a single build. But when I say well-rounded, I don't mean a jack-of-all-trades, master of none. This Titan build excels in everything. In the background you're seeing some Solo Master Nightfall gameplay 10 power under level, and as you can see this build has it all. Area damage, single target burst, tank, healing, debuff, even visual spectacle. This build has it all in droves. Now let's get to the build explanation. At the center of this build is one of the strongest aspects in Destiny, controlled demolition. This aspect applies the volatile debuff to anything we hit with an ability or volatile explosion, and heals us and our teammates when the explosions happen. We're going to be landing a lot of abilities, so these explosions will be going off left and right, obliterating groups and giving us chunky heals. Our second aspect, Offensive Bulwark, accelerates our grenade cooldown and buffs our melees while we have a Void Overshield. This aspect is not that important to the build. The grenade regen is overshadowed by what we get from other sources, and our Void Overshield is too flimsy to hold up in endgame content. But since we're so tight on fragments, the extra fragment slot gives us over Bastion is essential. We're running these with Shield Bash and Vortex Grenade. Shield Bash hits significantly harder than Shield Throw, and anything strong enough to survive the hit gets suppressed. We can also use a 1-2 punch shotgun to apply a 200% damage buff to our Shield Bash by sliding towards the target, then firing the shotgun at point blank into an immediate bash to absolutely demolish whatever's in front of us. Vortex Grenade has excellent synergy with both controlled demolition and our fragments. Magnetic Grenade is a strong option too, but I prefer Vortex since it feels more consistent and reliable to me. For fragments, every single fragment we're running is core. We're packing a lot of functionality into one build and it barely fits into 4 fragment slots. We've got Echo of Instability to give our weapons volatile rounds, Undermining to give our grenades weakening capabilities, Starvation to get Devour for full heals and chunks of grenade energy on kills, and Persistence to extend the duration of Devour enough that we can reasonably maintain it. For our super, Ward of Dawn and Sentinel Shield are both excellent, and I'll often switch between them based on what I'm doing. Sentinel Shield excels at fast ad clear, and keeps us alive easily between the roaming super armor and the healing from controlled demolition, and there is no better panic button in the entire game than Ward of Dawn. Both supers will serve us well. All of this is tied together beautifully by quite possibly the best exotic armor piece in the game, Heart of Inmost Light. Heart will buff all of our abilities and accelerate their cooldowns for doing exactly what we want to do, using them. Since all of our abilities are so good, casting them on cooldown never feels like a chore. For armor mods, stat-wise we're going for 100 resilience first, because tanking up is essential for endgame content, and as a Titan, resilience is also tied to the cooldown of our class ability, which ultimately fuels everything through Heart of Inmost Light. We combine this with resistance mods on our chest piece to become extremely hard to kill. I'll always match the burn in Nightfalls, and for any activity without a burn, I'll usually go with one of each elemental resist for the most well-rounded resistance. The second priority is discipline because our grenades do so much work, followed by strength to get our melee ability back faster. For combat style mods, we're on an elemental well package. We're using 2 separate mods to make void wells, elemental ordnance to make a well from grenade kills, and reaping wellmaker to make one on the next weapon kill after casting barricade. Since we're casting barricade very frequently to power Heart of Inmost Light, we'll be activating this a lot. We have 2 elemental well payoff mods. The first is Well of Tenacity, which gives us 50% damage reduction after picking up a Void Well. Between the 40% from Resilience, the 25% from an Elemental Resist mod, and the 50% from Well of Tenacity, will be incredibly hard to kill through our constant healing. Our other elemental well payoff is Font of Might, to give all of our void weapons a 25% damage boost from our wells, multiplicative with all other damage buffs. The final combat style mod we're running is Elemental Time Dilation, which will extend the duration of both Well of Tenacity and Font of Might. So now every time we pick up a void well, we get 9 seconds of 50% damage reduction, and 14 seconds of a 25% damage boost to our void weapons. The other essential mod for this build is Harmonic Siphon. This will allow us to make an orb by getting a double kill with any void weapon, which will give us Devour through Echo of Starvation when picked up. At the beginning of every combat, you'll want to get a void weapon double kill and pick up the resulting orb to start the Devour chain. Once Devour is up, we can play even more aggressively, since every kill will fully restore our health and generate grenade energy. As for weapons, there is some flexibility. Since we're aiming to capitalize on Volatile Rounds, a void weapon should be our main workhorse. I particularly like the Unforgiven SMG from the Duality dungeon, since its perk pool is excellent for this build. Demolitionist, Repulsor Brace, and Adrenaline Junkie are the standout perks to look for. Any Void Dragonfly weapon also performs well with the build, since the Dragonfly Explosion will also spread Volatile for some serious detonation action. A 1-2 punch shotgun in the kinetic slot is a fun way to get our shield bash hitting extra hard, but this can be swapped out for a champion stun if needed. For the heavy, just about anything works well, but an especially fun option is the Heart Shadow sword from the Duality dungeon. It has good synergy with the build as a void weapon, and its invisibility does get extended by Echo of Persistence. And there you have it, an incredibly versatile Sentinel build that is the king of endgame PvE. Void Titan has a fantastic, flexible kit that can handle nearly every situation, and this build offers just about everything a Guardian could want for endgame content, all on top of being splashy and satisfying to play. I hope you all enjoyed the build and breakdown. Drop a like if you found this video helpful or entertaining, and if you want to see more endgame oriented builds like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. You can also find all of my builds in a playlist, which I'll link in the description. You can find a dim link to the build in the description too, as well as a consolidated image of the build at the end of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll do my best to answer every question that comes my way. I will leave you now with some legendary campaign gameplay, so you can see how this build performs in a more relaxed setting. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one, Guardians.